Hey there, I'm Amy Connell. Welcome to Graced Health, the podcast for women who want simple and grace-filled ways to take care of themselves and enjoy a little chocolate in the process. I'm a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach who wants you to know your eating, movement, and body don't have to be perfect. You just need to be able to do what you are called to do. Now, if you are a regular listener, you have probably noticed that I do a lot of interviews. I've been doing a lot of interviews. This was actually just kind of a natural progression in the podcast. I actually started doing solo episodes only. That was all of pretty much season 1, where I spent a lot of time talking about the stuff that I know most about, which is fitness and moves to do when you're over 40 and different ways that your body burns calories and all kinds of different stuff that I really felt like I knew the most about. And then once I got out of the fitness season, I was like, I gotta bring in some experts on this. And without really intending to, this has really transitioned to a guest heavy show. But I realized I kind of miss just talking to you all. And if I'm totally honest, I realized that a lot of my episodes have gotten really long with the guests because they bring such good information. I just can't get off. And sometimes we just need a little bit of a break. So I thought, what I'm going to do, or at least this is the goal for the first 6 months of 2021, and we'll just go from there. But my plan is to do a solo episode with just me, the last episode of the month, or if there's 5 episodes or if there's 5 Tuesdays in a month, then it'll be the 4th or the 5th one. I'm not really sure, but this way you'll get me in 20 to 25 minutes. You're not interested in hearing me talk more than 20 or 25 minutes anyway. And it'll just be something a little bit different and getting back to a lot of the heart of what I do. The reality is, health and fitness is out there everywhere. And there's a lot of people chirping at you with a lot of the same type of stuff. And I recognize that I can be in that as well. But what I really hope that you glean from me and my attitude about health and moving and nutrition and faith, that's a big part of it, is it doesn't all have to be perfect, and you have permission to change it to make it work for you, and not necessarily what a plan says. I am all for plans. I am all for writing things down. I love different programs and experimenting. But at the end of the day, I have to figure out what are my individual goals. And just because something says to do something a particular day, if that is not in line with how I'm wanting to feel or whatever my physical fitness and mental fitness and emotional fitness, quite honestly, for that, whatever those goals are, then it's not right for me to do. So that's kind of what I want to talk to you a little bit about today. Now, one of the things that I love doing, and people in my family really love to make fun of me for this, and that's okay. I'm standing strong. Like I'm standing in the fact that I love sprint work. I don't know why. I never did track, you guys. Like, I did the drill team and the palm thing in high school. I don't, did I even run in college? I'm not sure. I know I did a lot of group fitness in college and as a young adult, and I kind of stumbled into the whole running thing, particularly in my 30s. But right now, as a 46-year-old woman, I love going out to the football fields near my house, and I warm up for a really long time. In fact, I warm up and cool down almost twice as much as I do the actual workout, but that's okay because it's a HIIT workout. And so one of my favorite, like my go-tos, is I set a timer to go off every 60 seconds. And every 60 seconds, I run from goal line to goal line. So that's 100 yards. And then I rest the rest of the 60 seconds. So it takes me about 21-ish seconds to run those 100 yards. And then I get like a 39-second break. And then I repeat that. I started off just doing that 10 sets or 10 times. I worked up to 20 times. I have not been doing that as much and tried doing 20 times a few weeks ago. And totally wrecked myself for the rest of the day. Like I haven't been that exhausted from a workout in a really long time. So then the next time I did it, I think I took it down to like 16 times. So again, that is just kind of going with whatever works for me. Now, my nephew is an athlete, a collegiate athlete, super fit guy, and he was visiting us a couple weeks ago. So I said, "Hey, I'm going to the fields to do this sprint workout. You want to go with me?" And he was like, "Yeah, I haven't done that in a while because his collegiate athletic career has changed a little bit. So he's not actually doing anything on a team, but he's still, he still likes to move and his body's used to that." So he said, "Yeah, I'll come out with you." So here I am, 46-year-old Amy, plugging along, doing what I can do. And I kept warning him. I was like, "Look, I'm not like, you're going to be faster than me, and that's okay. Like, you can go faster than I am." He said, "No, I haven't been doing things as much lately. He said, "I'm just glad to be getting out here and moving. I'll just go with you." He said, "You pace me." So we went out and we're doing this, and I'm like breathing hard and hunched over a little bit on my knees. And this guy, he's like gliding along like a 6'4" gazelle and hardly breathing at all. About halfway through, he said, "So is this like your 100%?" And he was just genuine in it. And I said, "Well, no, actually," I said, "believe it or not, I feel like my heart could go a little bit faster. And I feel like my legs could go a little bit faster. But like my joints, not necessarily my joints, but like my ligaments and my muscles will complain, and I have gotten injured by going too fast. So even though I physically could be going faster, even with just from a breathing perspective or a body perspective, I didn't want to." And that's kind of what I want to talk to you today about. Is my goal for that workout, and my goal for all of my workouts, is to feel good and to challenge my body. I mean, let me tell you, those workouts will challenge me, but my goal is to stay healthy and to not get injured. I spent a lot of 2020 injured in one way or another. And so I'm just always trying to switch it up. I'm trying to figure out how does my body move best, and what does it like to do, and what does it not like to do. So I want to talk a little bit about your goals. I can't assume that your goals are the same as mine, but I'm betting that we are probably closer than we think we are. I hear from a lot of women about their goals, and more times than not, when I'm talking with someone who is a potential client for training, or just when I'm in conversation, most of them are over 40, which is what I am. And what I hear is, "I don't care so much about what I look like. I just want to take care of myself." And don't you love it? Don't you love it that we are finally at this point? And I don't know about you, but I so wish I could have released all of that physical expectation when I was in my 20s and 30s. Well, really always, Amy, because this was such a big deal for me for so long. But anyway, it's just that goal of, I just want to take care of myself. Maybe it's coming from a place where you weren't taking care of it very well. Maybe you have always done that and you just want to continue doing that. Another goal of yours might just be to stay in shape. You've always been active, kind of like to take care of yourself. You've always been active and you want to continue staying in shape. And maybe you want to continue that for the future. You hear a lot. I've said this. I've heard my clients say this. They're like, "I just want to sit on the floor and be able to play with my grandkids and be mobile and be active and be able to go skiing with my grandkids, or go water skiing, or whatever that is, mountain biking." I mean, choose your favorite family fun activity with grandkids, but that's something I know I want to be able to do. And I've seen my parents be really active with my kids and my in-laws. And, that's just something I want to be able to continue to do. So maybe that's a staying in shape. Maybe one of your goals is, I just got to get out of the house because we still have a lot of people in the house, and I just need my body to be able to move and get a little sanity, which maybe that's a goal of, I just got to get out of the house and go do something. Maybe you are trying to transform your body. Look, we're still in the beginning of the year, and sometimes the end of the year is not so kind on us. And we're trying to get our body back to that set point, that point where it wants to be. I'm not saying, I don't like to use the word lose weight, but it might be that that you kind of took your body out of that comfort zone of what it likes to be at when you are feeding it well, when you are moving it well. And you're just trying to kind of change your body a little bit. Maybe you're trying to gain some energy. I have heard from my adult women clients. I have heard from my teen clients. I've heard from all kinds of different people that maybe they're used to working out, maybe they're not, but they're like, man, I feel so much better during the day when I work out. Morning, afternoon, evening, whenever it works for you, I think, and whatever makes you feel the best is the right time to do it. But there's no denying that exercising in the right way for us will give us energy. Now, just like my HIIT workout that I was talking about earlier, when you go a little too much and you go a little too intense, yeah, that can drain you. But overall, if you're doing it the right way and challenging yourself the right way, you will get a little energy bump. Now, what do all of those have in common? They require you to be injury-free. And that is what I mean when I say, should your goals hold you back? Because whatever your goal is, you have got to be injury-free in order to be able to do it. Another one of the things that I like to do, which is also not very well loved in my family, is we have a big hill. It's like an amphitheater hill by my house. I will go out there, and I used to do classes out here as well. And the girls, they loved to hate it. Like, they would always show up in droves, and then they would complain about it because it was so hard, but they really did love it. They really did. But I will run up that hill and then walk down because I don't trust my body to run down the hill anymore, but I will run up. It takes, I don't even know how long it takes me, maybe 10, 15 seconds, turn around, walk back down. And again, do that on the minute. And there's some other things that I'll add in sometimes, but that's not pertinent to this conversation. What is pertinent to this conversation is someone was walking by the other day and he was like, oh, you're working hard, or, looking good, or something like that. And I felt like I needed to qualify why I wasn't going as fast as I wanted to. And I was like, oh, I used to be a lot faster. I'm just doing my best up here. And it's true. Like, I could have been running faster, but I knew if I did, I would pull one of my glute muscles. I have done that more than once, I'm embarrassed to say. And I know that I have got to pull back a little bit because my goal is to stay injury-free. So what I would encourage you to do is think about what you love doing. And I know that I have used two kind of running / HIIT examples, but I think the same can be said if you are in the gym and you are lifting heavy weights, which, yay, by the way, if you are, I love strength training for women. Really, really effective. Would love it if you did it. However, if you are pushing so hard that you're feeling a tweak that does not feel right, there's a difference between hurt and hard. Hard is okay, hurt is not. And so if you are hurting yourself from lifting too much, then maybe it's time to pull it back just a little bit. Now, if you're more trying to get into like a fitness, I don't even know what they call them anymore, fitness competition, bikini competition, if you're going out there for CrossFit, first of all, you're probably not listening to this podcast because the messages that I give are probably not congruent with how you are feeling and what your goals are. And that's okay. That's okay. Like, we all have our own thing. However, it might be that pulling that back just a little bit so you stay injury-free is what you need to be doing for your long-term goals. And I know I'm saying goals a lot here, but maybe it's your intentions, maybe it's your desires. I mean, however you want to describe that, it's what am I really trying to aim for? And am I doing something that will prevent me from doing that later? Another way that you might want to hold back so you can achieve your goals is not overdoing it. Please, please, please take at least one, preferably two, rest and recovery days a week. Now, I'm going to next month when I do my solo episode, we're going to talk all about rest and recovery days. So I won't belabor this right now, but just for the meantime, remember that your muscles need to repair and recover, and they can't do that if they are constantly under stress. You heard this a little bit in the episode with Pete McCall, which is season 9, I think, episode 1. It was just a few episodes ago. So if you're new to this, just kind of scroll back and you'll see it. He is a fantastic fitness educator. He is kind of like an online mentor of mine. I learned so much from his All About Fitness podcast. And this is one of the things that he has really stressed. He's my age as well. And he really tries to get people to realize that we have got to take rest and recovery days. This is another way that holding you back will help you meet your goals. I think his term is you can't go out and slam your face against the wall every day. It just, maybe that worked when we were 20s, and maybe that works for competitive athletes. That doesn't work for 46-year-old Amy. Now, my next point, you might disagree with me on this. It's going to be a little controversial, and that's okay. Like I said, that's okay. I'm standing in this because I really do believe it. Let's talk about your watches, your fitness trackers, your Apple Watches. I think these are really helpful. I got one for my birthday in November. I've had a lot of fun with it. And boy, if you have one, you know how good it feels to close all 3 rings. Now, if you don't have one, the 3 rings are based on what you tell Apple your goals are. It has a standing ring, how many hours. It's not how many hours you're standing, but like it wants you to stand a minute or 2 every hour. And so you say, I want to be able to stand so many hours a day. It also has an activity or exercise. And then it has, so it's stand, exercise, and then activity. Now, activity is really more, it's a combination of your exercise calories burned as well as your NEAT, that non-exercise activity thermogenesis. We talk a lot about, or I talked about that back in season 1. But that's like movement that's not formal exercise. So if you go out and blow it all out in your workout, working really, really hard, but then you can't move the rest of the day, then you're not going to have activity calories burned because you're not doing anything. Whereas maybe you don't work out very hard, but you are up and around and you're puttering and you're in the yard and you're cutting, you're trimming limbs or whatever, we're all doing stuff. Then that activity, calories burned, which, I don't love focusing on calories, but you're basically your movement is going to go up because you are moving around. So between your activity, your exercise, and your stand, which is all somewhat self-guided, it's really fun to close those 3 rings. Now, is it rewarding to do this? Absolutely. Have I snuck into the bedroom at night and did a bunch of high knees for a minute just to finish and close that activity ring? Yes. Have I stood up enough while my family was hanging out by the fire pit that my husband asked what was wrong because I looked really antsy? Because I was trying to close that activity ring. Yes. So I am totally guilty of letting that thing drive me. However, please let your body and its daily needs and goals dictate how much you move and not your watch. I really wish the watch had an option for kind of a recovery day or something where you're not exercising 1 or 2 times a week, or maybe that you can take that activity goal down a little bit, because it is important to have those rest and recovery days. And absolutely, you can go on your walks and, some people call them prayer walks or meditative walks, and it's a lot slower and we're not pumping our arms and we're not getting our heart rate up. And those are all fine. But, I'll be honest, sometimes I just don't even feel like that. Like I just don't want to move a lot for that day. And I don't worry about it because I know on the whole, I'm active. I'm moving around. I'm standing a lot. I'm standing right now. I mean, I have this standing desk that I love and makes a huge difference for me, except when I stand too long, my back hurts, but that's okay. That's another story. But I refuse to let my watch and the reins clothes and all of the little badges that you can get dictate what I do when I don't feel like doing it. So I know that's going to be a little bit controversial. And like I said, I completely understand the desire and the reward that comes from closing those rings and getting those badges. But at the end of the day, your watch doesn't know your goals long term. And it might be worth just telling the watch, I know better than you, and you can't make me. And we'll just kind of tap into our inner 8-year-old. So I hope that's given you a little bit of a different perspective as we go along, as we are coming in on the end of January. And how are you feeling? What are your goals? I hope it is to remain injury-free. I'm sure it is. If it's not, please reach out. I would like to know. So we're just going to go under the assumption that your goal, in whatever it is, one of the underlying reasons or underlying things for that goal is to remain injury-free. And just consider that it might be that your goals should hold you back from working too hard. I know that's controversial. That's also the one simple thing I want you to remember, which is something I try and give you on every episode. And that is, maybe your goals should hold you back. Hey, by the way, if you are listening to this real time when it drops, we are very close to the end of January, as I said, which means I will be sending out my monthly journal. Now, if you don't get this, I would really love to send it to you. I have so much fun putting it together. It has foods and recipes I think you'll love. Sometimes I have workouts on there or movements, and it's just my own little intimate, exclusive space to connect with you a little bit more deeply. You can't find it on the web. So make sure you get that if you haven't. Can I toot my own horn for just a second? Just a second. I'm really sorry. I get more responses from those emails than anything else I do. Like I just have people, if they're friends of mine, they'll text me, or people respond back on these emails. They're like, this was so great. Thank you. I mean, the last one, one of my girlfriends was like, I'm in tears, which I don't try and make it like teary, like sentimental, but this one was a little bit, the one in January. So please, 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 join me over there, because I would love to connect with you in that way. You can get yours or go sign up before the end of the month, because it's coming on February 1st or February 2nd, but you can get yours at gracedhealth.com/monthly-updates. I promise it's worth your time. And if it's not, then you can unsubscribe. You can always unsubscribe, by the way, but I like to stay connected. Okay. That is all for today. Go out there and have a graced day.